going on? It's MassiveJoes RAW review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome! Raw review for the viewers at home today on an all-new fat-burning and feel-good supplement from a new supplement company to MassiveJoes. It is, of course, from our good friends at Hybrid Nutrition. Activate, shred, in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's gonna do. That nutritional information panel ain't gonna get it done. We about to go balls deep in this here Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred. Luckily, got ourselves one of these big ass nutritional information panels for the viewers at home. Starting from the top, well actually we can't, it's not the best big ass nutritional information panel we've seen thus far because it doesn't have the serving size or the number of serves or the artificial colors, flavors, and sweeteners up in this bitch. So I'm actually gonna have to revert to the small ass nutritional information panel to start this off. Can I get some zoom and focus action, please? I sure as hell can. Starting from the top, serving size 4.1 grams, got yourself about 60 of them 4.1 gram bitches in one of these 60 serve Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred bitches. If you do a quick summation, back to the big ass nutritional information panel, you do a quick summation, add up all of these active ingredients, you'll quickly discover that they use over 40% artificial colors, artificial flavors in this Activate Shred. It's not really surprising, especially in a thermogenic fat loss supplement. Especially when we get into the ingredients, you guys see some of the big doses of ingredients that in themselves taste quite horrible, namely acetyl L-Carnitine, straight off the bat, that they've had to use that amount of artificial colors and flavors and sweeteners to try and actually mask the taste. In terms of how it tastes, we'll get to that in a second. Starting from the top. Got yourself acetyl L-Carnitine, 1,000 milligrams. For viewers at home who are unaware, acetyl L-Carnitine is the acetyl salt of L-Carnitine, which is a fat metabolizer. Because it's the acetyl version, it's able to cross the blood-brain barrier and assist with mental focus. Obviously, being a fat metabolizer, the actual purpose from a fat loss supplementation point of view of putting L-Carnitine, in particular acetyl L-Carnitine, as well as crossing the blood-brain barrier to help with mental focus, is much more bioavailable than L-Carnitine or L-Carnitine L-tartrate or other salts of L-Carnitine. What L-Carnitine actually does is it provides the transport mechanism for your body to take fatty acids from fat cells where they're being stored and transport them into the mitochondria of muscle cells where the fat can be burnt for energy. That's the actual effect of L-Carnitine and all the other forms of L-Carnitine. In terms of the dosage, we're talking 1,000 milligrams. Viewers at home who are aware know that we preach usually 2 to 3 grams as like, it's over, clinical dose of acetyl L-Carnitine is like 1 to 1.5 grams. MassiveJoes, we always preach a little bit higher than that, almost double that, 2 to 3 grams. But technically speaking, 1,000 milligrams could be technically considered a clinical dose. It's definitely the biggest dose of acetyl L-Carnitine that we've ever seen in a fat loss supplement such as this here Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred. So 4 points for the dose of acetyl L-Carnitine. Moving right along, we've then got Forskolin standardized for 10% in a 250 milligram dose. So you're getting 25 milligrams of Forskolin from that standardization. Forskolin is quite a cool supplement actually, and it's used in usually a lot of high quality fat burning supplements. What it actually does is it increases the strength of your heartbeat, widens blood vessels, and therefore decreases blood pressure at the same damn time. 250 milligrams at a 10% concentration, yielding 25 milligrams of Forskolin, is generally considered about clinical dose. 25 to 30 milligrams is a very efficacious dose of Forskolin. Moving right along. We've then got DL-choline bitartrate in a 250 milligram dose, aka DLCB. Also crosses the blood-brain barrier, helps with mental focus. In particular, choline and different salts of choline, butyrate being one salt of choline, actually increases the synthesis of acetylcholine in the brain, helps with cognition, helps with mental fluidity, need some choline myself, helps with concentration, and just generally helps with mental focus. Moving right along, we then move into Mucuna pruriens, standardized for 15% L-Dopa being extracted from velvet bean extract, 250 milligrams, so you're getting about 30 milligrams of L-Dopa from this standardization of Mucuna pruriens. L-Dopa crosses the blood-brain barrier, converts to dopamine, where it helps with mental focus. There's a lot of nootropics in this fat burner right here, man. There's a lot of mental focus going on. L-Dopa crosses the blood-brain barrier, converts to dopamine, where not only does it assist with mental focus, but actually, whenever you get an increase in dopamine, dopamine is the hormone that's responsible for feeling of well-being, feeling of just feeling nice, feeling good. Pleasurable feelings is what dopamine is responsible for. So whenever you get an increase in dopamine, you get an increase in just feeling really nice. In terms of the dosage, we're talking, so standardized for 15%, you're talking about 30 milligrams. It is quite underdosed in L-Dopa. You know, the standardized, there isn't really a clinical dose for L-Dopa, to be honest with you viewers at home. There's nothing that's really kind of the most efficacious dose. You have L-Dopa going up to like 3,000 milligrams per day. In terms of what we generally see in supplements, usually something that's standardized for about 50 to 60 milligrams of L-Dopa, I guess would be considered the most efficacious, especially when you're talking about a precursor to dopamine. So in this Activate Shred, it is slightly underdosed. Moving right along. We then get into our stimulant blend, starting with caffeine anhydrous in a 200 milligram serve. That's a pretty decent dose of caffeine. Caffeine, obviously a physical and mental stimulant. It's good to see that they haven't just thrown 300 milligrams of caffeine up in this bitch for the sake of it. Moving right along, we've then got L-Theanine, the amino acid, in a 200 milligram dose. Theanine is really cool. It does a bunch of different things. In particular, when it's combined with caffeine, taken at the same time as caffeine, it actually helps increase serotonin levels in the brain, increase dopamine levels in the brain, also increase gamma aminobutyric acid levels in the brain. All of those things are going to help with mental focus, but in particular help with cognition. So it's going to allow you to be a lot sharper, especially if you're taking this Activate Shred in a caloric deficit, generally feel like shit most of the day because you're in caloric deficit. The theanine and caffeine combined together just helps you feel a lot sharper. Moving right along, we then get into Infinergy, which is the trademark version of dicaffeine malate, the highest quality dicaffeine malate we have seen thus far. Yields 75% caffeine, 25% malic acid ionically bonded together, which is going to give you another just over 100 milligrams of caffeine. So you're talking a total of 300 milligrams of caffeine per scoop in this Activate Shred. In terms of what Infinergy actually does, the ionic bonding of caffeine and malic acid effectively works as a buffered caffeine. So you have caffeine anhydrous in the 200 milligram dose, which is going to hit you like straight away. And then you have this buffered caffeine from the Infinergy that's going to come on a little bit later. So Infinergy usually hits 20 to 30 minutes after you take it, whereas caffeine anhydrous is pretty much within a couple of minutes of taking it. So you're going to get almost like this staggered release of stimulation, this staggered release of caffeine from the combination of the caffeine anhydrous and the dicaffeine malate. The other cool thing with the dicaffeine malate is the malic acid actually acts as a little bit of a gastrointestinal buffer. So if you're sort of person, when you have caffeine, you get a little bit of gastrointestinal upset, the malic acid is going to offset that upset and make you feel nice and calm in the guts. Moving right along, we've then got Evodiamine, standardized for 98% in the 100 milligram dose. That's a thermogenic and a stimulant, actually going to increase your body temperature and works as quite a mild stimulant. So it's not as strong a stimulant as caffeine. It's not like another 100 milligrams of caffeine. Primarily going to increase your body temperature. Moving right along, we've then got Synephrine in the 225 milligram dose. Synephrine is obviously another stimulant, works very well in caffeine in terms of physical and mental stimulation. And then finally, we've got the capsicum, the cayenne red pepper extract in the 2 milligram dose. Obviously going to work as a thermogenic, increase that core body temperature, help with that thermogenesis and that fat loss. Got yourself some artificial colors, artificial flavors. And that's what's in it. So you guys can see that on paper, it's quite an interesting thermogenic. It's quite an interesting fat loss supplement. It's got a bunch of stimulants in there: caffeine, dicaffeine malate, some synephrine, some evodiamine in there, a bunch of different stimulants that kind of give you a staggered release of stimulation, I guess. A lot of nootropics, a lot of things that are going to be in there to help with mental focus. And then you get what we consider to be a clinical dose of a fat metabolizer as well. So on paper, it does look pretty complete as a fat loss supplement. The one thing I guess that it's missing from a fat loss supplement point of view is going to be your essential fatty acids, but a lot of people prefer to take them separately, take CLA powder or CLA capsules separately. But on paper it looks really good. There's a couple of things missing in terms of what I personally would look for in a very strong fat burner, in a strong thermogenic. I'd be looking for things like theobromine, the cacao extract, hyginamine. I'll be looking for things that are gonna increase stimulation of the heart, but then also increase relaxation of your cardiovascular system to really turbocharge that fat loss. But on paper, looks not too bad at all. In terms of how it tastes, how it mixes, at the moment, only comes in one flavor. Comes in Desert Punch. Whatever the f that's supposed to be. I'm just gonna go with Fruit Punch, because as far as I know, not too many things grow in the desert, and ain't no motherfuckers drinking no punch in the desert either. So let's go with Fruit Punch. Infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test about to go down. Got the infamous double wall glass in here. It's a little bit full actually. Dilla put a little bit too much water. I want to mix it up and make the shit go everywhere. Got myself a brand new tub of this Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred in the Desert Punch flavor. Gonna rip the top off this bitch. Bro punch this bitch in. Grab myself a scoop. And there's actually no directions on here about how much water to, what the water to scoop ratio is. Scoop's down near the bottom, god damn it. All right, I'm gonna grab myself one scoop of this here Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred. So you guys can see that. That's the 4.1 gram scoop. Throw this bitch in this bitch and let it rain, let it rain. Few flicks of the wrist, man. I'm gonna show you guys how it mixes. I'm gonna refresh my memory on how this Desert Punch tastes, man. All right, that's enough. So you guys can see that's pretty well mixed. I probably, to be honest with you, 4.1 gram scoop, I probably should have used a little bit more water, but there's no real floaters. There are a couple of sinkers starting to develop at the bottom. That being said, you can definitely mix it up in water with a glass. So I would go so far as to say blender bowl is not required. For this here Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred, let me refresh my memory on how this Desert Punch tastes, man. And here's the thing, I'm not a big fan of Fruit Punch generally, especially from American companies, because they tend to go towards the cherry side of Fruit Punch, and I'm not a big fan of cherry flavors. I'm definitely not a fan of citrus. And viewers at home who are in tune with the MassiveJoes YouTube channel know that I do not f with citrus, man. I just don't get down with it. Desert Punch Activate Shred, probably the best way I can describe it is an American cherry-based fruit punch mixed with citrus. Smack them two bitches together, and that's what Desert Punch is. So from my personal opinion, it's horrible. It is. It's. You know what? I've got a tub on my desk where I've ripped the label off and I've renamed the flavor. I'm gonna go grab it for you guys. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be back. And we're back. So this is my personal tub. This is the one that sits on my desk at MJHQ. On the lid, it says Joe's Shreds, and I ripped the label off it because I've got a little bit of OCD, and the one thing that I don't like about Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred is the label's not actually on straight. Can you guys see that? It's kind of, yeah, you can see that. It's on like an angle, and it was sitting on my desk with the label on an angle like that, and it was just doing my head in. So I ripped the label off and wrote Joe's Shreds on there. And then Joe's Shreds on here, and I had to take the liberty of renaming the flavor as well from Desert Punch to Devil's Anus flavor. Because in my personal opinion, this here Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred in the Desert Punch, it tastes like the Devil's Anus. It's horrible. But look, if you like citrus, you'll probably like it. Probably the best way I can describe it for the Australian viewers at home, it tastes like Barocca. It tastes like the original Barocca. It's almost got that, it's not fizzy, but it's got a similar fizziness to Barocca as well. Yeah, it's very close to like the original Barocca flavor in terms of the effects. Because that's what you're taking this Activate Shred for, man, for the effects. You don't give a if it tastes good or tastes bad, man. You just want it to help you burn that fat, man, help you get in the zone, help you feel real nice. Let me put it to you guys this way. It's definitely not the strongest fat burner on the market. It's definitely not the most efficaciously dosed fat burner on the market. It's definitely not the most comprehensive fat burner on the market. It's not any of those things, but it does fall into its own category of fat burner because it's the most well dosed in fat metabolizer with the full 1000 milligrams of acetyl L-Carnitine in there, or one of, not the most, one of the best dosed in fat metabolizer. And then the one thing that I've really experienced with this Activate Shred, and everybody at MJHQ uses this product. I'm not even with you guys. We use a lot of different supplements depending on who you're talking to at MJHQ. We've got a couple of open tubs of Activate Shred in the office here, and everybody uses it. We don't use it necessarily as a fat burner, because there are better fat burners on the market, to be honest, for that particular purpose. But all of us use it as like an afternoon pick-me-up. When we get in that slump in the afternoon, 1, 2, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you just want something to kind of pick you up, make you feel real nice. That's what we use it for. And what we do is we'll take one scoop. Everybody does this at MJHQ. I'm not even with you guys. Take one scoop, throw it in a MassiveJoes blender bottle, and fill it up with water. I personally add a scoop of core ABC and pineapple strawberry because I hate the taste of the Devil's Anus flavor. But for those members at MassiveJoes that love it, they'll just throw the one scoop in the blender bottle and sip on it over like half hour to 45 minutes to an hour, however long it takes you to sip on it. And the one thing that really makes this Activate Shred stand out from every other fat burner that I personally and the rest of us have tried at MassiveJoes is the feeling of well-being on it is just incredible. You feel amazing. You really do. And it's not just like a stimulant pick-me-up like you would get from having 300 milligrams of caffeine. It's like you feel really good physically, you feel really good mentally, you just feel good. Your state of well-being is uplifted. It's a really amazing supplement in terms of obviously what they've put in there in terms of all of the nootropics, all of the things that cross the blood-brain barrier, help with mental focus, help with that feeling of well-being, work really well synergistically together, and just deliver one of the nicest, cleanest energy experiences that I've ever had in any supplement, let alone a fat loss supplement. So if you're looking for a strong thermogenic, I don't really think that the Activate Shred is going to get it done. But if you're looking for a fat burner, or you're looking for just a supplement that's just really going to give you an uplift in energy and just make you feel really nice, I really think that I was really surprised when I tried the Activate Shred, because I looked at it on paper, and to be honest with you, I wasn't 100% impressed. I was impressed that where the f did I put the lid? I was impressed with some of the ingredients. some of the dosage of some of the ingredients, but just synergistically, I didn't think it was really gonna be that great a supplement until I tried it, and I was like, man, I feel like $1 million taking this stuff. So if you're in the market for a fat burner, that's just gonna make you feel all kinds of nice. You gotta get yourself some of this here Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Stay up to date with all the latest editions of MassiveJoes RAW Review and all the other deliciousness in our YouTube channel. And guys, that is MassiveJoes RAW Review on the all-new Hybrid Nutrition Activate Shred in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.